Hello and welcome to my channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. We are going to do a seed time and harvest reading for the sign of Cancer. So the purpose of this reading is to take a look at one of the many seeds that you may have planted and what the possible harvest could be coming in. Please keep in mind that we are constantly planting seeds and reaping harvest. And we're also constantly pulling up old plants so that there's new room for new things to grow. So take this with a grain of salt if you feel that it's not resonating with you. All right. Feel free to check out a different video if you like, or just check back another time. All right. So Cancer. It looks like the seed that you planted that we're looking at specifically is that you decided to kind of weigh out your priorities. And I feel like it was between two things in the material realm that you were trying to juggle or kind of manage. And you had some different feelings about it. Like you had, whatever this was, it was definitely affecting your emotional self. And what you did was you tried to get some balance between these two things. It could have been in the realm of your finances. It could be in the realm of the energy that you put out or what you invest in, what you give your attention to. And the result of this is that you are coming into a space of being more in alignment with and attuned with some sort of order or institution. All right. So this could be, this could just be collective society as a whole or some specific segment of that you're a part of. It could be within a church situation. It could be a job. It could be some type of social group. It could be a marriage, any of those things. But whatever it is, what you did was you figured out where your priorities lie, so that you wouldn't be putting a lot of energy or time and attention into things that kind of had your emotions not being steady. And so this also allows you to be able to give of yourself in a more balanced and pure way. All right, so I'm seeing you as being like this cup, and you've got your water in this cup, and that's your spiritual emotions. And as you're giving out, you're able to give from a more divine place, as opposed to a more harried or flustered space. All right, so let's clarify this with a number of oracle decks. So we started out with the Rider-Waite. Okay, yeah, so I feel like what you were having to put your priorities into, or figure out what your priorities were, this was surrounding some sort of obstacle or hindrance that you were having. So I feel like you might have been trying to weigh out options or trying to deal with something, and one of those options was causing you to feel blocked. And no matter what you did, you weren't able to get past it. And this could have been causing you some frustration. It could have been causing you to feel emotionally imbalanced, which then put you into a space where, it was like a cascade or snowball effect where you weren't able to show up fully in all these other things because you had this one thing that was kind of weighing you down and blocking you. And the issue was that you were putting too much attention to it, and you really had to maybe not totally let it go, because I'm not picking up that this was something that you needed to purge or get rid of. I feel like with the way that this looks on this card, and this is the Two of Pentacles, I feel like it was tied into or connected into this other thing that you needed to put more attention into. So if you were to get rid of that, then you would have totally also messed up this other thing because it was connected somehow. So you just figured out how to put more attention into this other aspect of this thing. Okay. And as a result of that, this puts you into a space of honor and good luck. So I feel like your situation changed immensely. Your feelings about your situation changed immensely. And it just really helped you to feel more balanced and in alignment, or like you were able to create some type of order out of a situation that didn't feel like it was structured or didn't feel like it was organized. All right. And like I said earlier, this could have been in a church situation or some type of religious situation, a job, a marriage, an institution of some sort. Okay. An order of some sort. And the card that I'm looking at is the Hierophant. All right. Okay. So you can give from a more balanced and divine place now as a result of this prioritizing that you did. All right. So, I feel like one of the things that helped you to figure out what your priorities were was that you had to follow your intuition, and you might not have been connecting with that. And that might have been the thing that caused you to get out of balance in the first place, because you weren't listening to your intuition. I feel like you might not have been using wisdom prior to this, but as soon as you activated that for yourself, it allowed you to make the shifts in your attention and your focus so that you could work on things that needed the most attention and that would benefit you the most, okay? And this allows you to rise above your tribulations and be resilient in the situation. Remember, we said that you were experiencing some emotional upset and maybe not feeling very balanced. You might have felt like you were drowning in your situation, or like you were a ship at sea with the risk of capsizing from the waves. And this could be, just your waves of emotion that just kept coming up and tossing your boat to and fro. But because you did this, you were able to kind of rise above this tribulation, overcome it. Not by dropping this other thing completely, like we said, but by refocusing and putting more of your efforts into the things that you could salvage the most. All right. So let's clarify with a wisdom oracle. And I like to use like a bunch of different cards just because it gives a nice layering of information. All right. So, what may have put you into this space of feeling like you needed to, juggle or balance all these different things was a sense of being kind of left behind and left in a space where you had to do this. You didn't have help from others, and it was throwing you out of alignment. You might have felt kind of like ostracized, or kind of like, I'm picking up like socially outcast. Maybe something happened and you didn't feel like you were in alignment with some sort of social order, or this could be this religious group, this organization, this church, whatever we were saying, this job, this marriage. This also, in picking up, could have just been how you felt, although you may not have actually been like cast out. You felt like you were out of the loop because you couldn't align yourself enough to feel like you were together, or feel as if you had your life even in order. So you just kind of felt dejected and kind of left out to dry, like you were just left, thrown out to sea, and you had to kind of figure it out and figure out how to get back to shore, is what I'm saying. And because you felt like that, it made you want to find a way to bring yourself back into the fold of whatever this was that you were feeling like you were outside of the realm of. Again, this could just be, within yourself. You wanted to bring yourself back into order, bring yourself back into alignment so that, you could give of yourself from a more divine, balanced place. And you had a sense of urgency about it. This could be an age situation. You could be in your 30s, and it could be that, you felt as if you needed to get your life in order, to get it more balanced so that you could feel as if you were more in alignment, You could have a belief that, people in their 30s should have their life at a certain place or at a certain point, and you didn't feel like you were doing that. And so you might have felt like you were kind of outside the norm. I will say I know lots of people that are at different places along their journey at every age. But for you, I feel like there was this sense that, at this age, you should be here, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. So for some of you, that could have been also the case as well here. Okay. Let's clarify with a Sacred Traveler card. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you wanted to expand your life and open yourself up to new opportunities, new experiences. And, in order to do that, you had to deal with some things that could have been hindrances that were blocking you from doing that. So earlier we said that we had this hindrance card. Fate was blocking this path. And I feel like this was, maybe your own way that you had your life set up, or the way that you saw things, or the way you interacted with your life and your situation was blocking you from taking advantage of new opportunities and new ways of expanding and experiencing your personal reality. And because you decided to kind of take control of the situation and kind of rein it in or bring some type of balance to it, it is allowing you to kind of open your heart up and see the joy that's around you and experience from a place of delightfulness and joyous, almost like a childlike wonder with what the world can present to you and what you can experience. Because you may have felt weighed down. This could even be like a person who was, maybe a teenager or someone who was in college, and then you got into the real world and it's like, oh, now I'm an adult. I'm adulting. And in doing this means I can't enjoy this. I can't enjoy that. I've just got bills. I've got work. I've got this. I've got that. And by deciding to kind of take control of the cacophony of noises and things that tell you about what your life is supposed to look like, and what you're supposed to experience, this allowed you to get some kind of balance so that you could open your heart up to the joys and the wonders of the experiences you can have as a person who is feeling centered within themselves and not kind of being swayed to and fro by their circumstances and the things that they're experiencing around them. Let's do a feather message. All right. In the past, we have prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in the perfect form. So you, in the past, knew that prosperity was available to you. The sense of being balanced and centered and having a life that was, in your mind, more ordered and structured so that you could enjoy it. And I feel like you took a leap of faith that if I do this, it will help me get a little bit closer. Maybe I could take small baby steps, but it will get me there eventually. And it will come in the form of what I need. And what I'm seeing here is that for you, it came in the form of structure and being aligned with some sort of structure, maybe even some sort of status quo that's in alignment with your beliefs about what that looks like. This could be what it looks like to be successful, what it looks like to be where you're supposed to be at a certain age, like we said that before. Okay. And as a result, with this feather, not flower card, we have embraced the power of dance and movement to access your highest guidance. So when I see dance and movement with this, I'm thinking of getting into alignment with your path and what is your the way that you're supposed to fit into the rhythm of life. And I feel like that's what you were trying to align with, because you weren't before. And because you weren't doing that, it was putting you into a space of not being able to show up how you might want to, in your most joyous, incarnation of who you could be. All right. And because you started to align yourself, maybe you looked into your birth charts, or you might have consulted, people, you might have looked into your different archetypes that you work with and kind of saw what your pattern is and what you needed to do. This allowed you to access your highest guidance. And so this is what helped to bring you into this alignment so that you can be more balanced here. All right, let's finish up with an abundance oracle card. All right, so we also have that you possibly were dealing with some jealousy in the past, maybe in your friendships and social circles. And, we were saying that you may have felt like you had to hit certain milestones at certain times in your life. And there could have been people who were, making you feel as if you weren't good enough, or you could have been comparing yourself subconsciously to these people and then feeling as if you weren't good enough. And that might have been inciting little bits of jealousy within you. This card says, jealousy is an affirmation that you don't have something, and the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Let other people's successes inspire rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. All right. So you might have had to, like when we were talking about, you were weighing out these different things that you were giving attention to and trying to see what your priorities were. You could have been tempted to look at other people and what they were pouring energy into and what they were doing as kind of like a gauge of what you should have been doing. And when you did that, you found yourself being blocked and encountering hindrances. Your emotions might have been, kind of being thrown to and fro. This could have also been feelings of jealousy and envy of others who, and actually I'm going to say not envy. Jealousy, to me, jealousy is wanting something that is yours because somebody else has it, or being possessive of something that should be yours or is on your path. So when you're talking about, maybe you see someone succeeding or doing well at something or being happy or even just being joyous and delighted in their lives. And if we're not happy with ourselves, it's very easy to be jealous. But it's different than envy, because envy is wanting something that belongs to someone else. It's not yours. But joy, delight, being on your path, being fulfilled, all of those things are your birthright. And it is something that you're supposed to have in your life. And so being jealous of someone for having that because you don't have that, it's coming from a space. It's almost like this thing telling you that, hey, you're supposed to have that too. It's actually more so a conviction that you are not maybe living up to or showing up for yourself in the way that you could, so that you could be experiencing what this other person is experiencing. And sometimes seeing other people in that energy is good because it allows us to see where we might be falling short for ourselves, not to try to make other people accept us or give us credit for showing up a certain way, but how we might be letting ourselves down because we may not be doing the best that we can for ourselves. And when we talk about this prioritizing what you put your energy and your time and your attention into, there could have been a case where you were putting more efforts into things that weren't going to help you long term, things that were not really of consequence, things that might have been draining you. And so by reshifting this focus, it allowed you to be able to shift your situation around so that you're in alignment with yourself. And now you can give of yourself or show up in a way that is inspiring to others, because we've got this Ace of Cups, and this could even be like inspiration. Underneath that, we've got the Two of Cups and the Temperance card. So yeah, I feel like this could be you now aligning yourself with what it is that makes you the happiest, you know, by getting on your path. And what this does is now it makes you a person who can be in relationship or be around other people and be a healthy inspiration from an authentic space. Okay. And so now, because you did this, you are focusing on kind of surrounding yourself with maybe other people who are doing the same. I feel like it's caused you to take better care of yourself. All right. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. This is your diet. This is the type of energy that you have around you, the type of relationships that you're around, and just basically raising your vibration. All right. And what this does is it's going to open up more opportunities. It's going to change the way that you interact with other people and the types of relationships that you bring in. And with these other cards we were talking about, you know, with the Two of Cups, the Temperance, and the Ace of Cups, I feel like that's the end result of you taking the time to focus on the things that are most important, and by shifting your priorities to the things that will benefit you in the long term. Okay. All right. So Cancer, that is what I have for your reading. I hope it was helpful for you. And so thank you for joining me on this channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. And until the next video, bye-bye.